So we completed replacing the main drive belt to this snapper for the self-propelled, and it's actually working a lot better. But also going to replace the transmission belt and this drive ring. And we'll start by taking the side chute off and the bag. And the side chute is off, and this is what we're going to be replacing. We're going to be replacing this transmission belt here that runs off this pulley that is driven by this drive ring here. This is a rubber ring, just like the replacement we got here. And we first have to take this shaft off, this bolt here. We have to put a wrench to hold the shaft to get this nut off there. And we have to remove this spring. And I'm also going to mark, this is the shifter link, where this bolt is with a Sharpie to put it back in the same spot. And you can just put a wrench on the shaft here, and this is a 1/2 inch nut on the end. And this bolt here needs to come out to get this cover off, and the shifter linkage bolt. Now this entire shaft will come out, and this pulley is going to drop here that holds that belt. We'll address that belt in a minute. And this is what we need to replace in here. It's this ring here. This is a drive assembly here. And we'll start by taking the drive ring off first. This is just a plate that holds this in place, and these are 5/16 inch screws that will need to come out. And all the screws are out. You have to kind of pry this plate off a little bit. All this is in really good condition, and then you have to kind of pry this ring off as well, which may require a screwdriver. Oh, it's coming off. And that is the old drive ring. Very easy to take off and replace. Let's compare that to the new one to see how badly this is worn. And this is an aftermarket part number. This is the drive ring. Replace the snapper part number 1-0927, and this is part number 51-001-0. So here's the new one compared to the old, and you can see there's a little bit of wear. It's actually not too bad, but we're going to replace this anyway. And this just presses right in place. And then we'll put that cover back on. And the new drive ring is on. And just stagger these 5 screws around to get it pressed firmly on there. And now we'll put the new transmission belt on. And this one pulley's already off up here because it was on the shaft. You have to work the belt around this one pulley here to get that off. So the belt is all the way loose now. It's just on the transmission here. There is one bolt here that will need to come loose. There's also one underneath here to get this bracket loose, to get this belt out from around this transmission here. And here's the transmission belt. Just need to get everything loose where you can get the belt out from under this pulley. And before we put the new belt on, we're going to top off this transmission. This is the original snapper transmission grease for 0 and 00 applications. Here's the transmission in here. Just going to top this off. It actually looks okay in there. And just comparing this new belt, which is part number 12-869, to the old, and the old one is pretty well stretched out. But you can see the difference there on the end. Definitely needs replacing. And I got this drive wheel cleaned before I put the new belts back on in the reassembly. And I got a great suggestion from my friend from Maryland, Nighthawk86855, suggested using a Dremel tool with a pen attachment and just a wool pad, as I've done here, and it cleans it up very nicely and non-abrasively. And we're ready to reassemble here now. I've got the belt already under the transmission pulley. Sammy, what's the matter, Sammy? And then we need to also put it under this pulley, and when I put the drive shaft connection back in, we'll put that on that pulley as well. And all the bolts are tightened on this bracket here. Now we're ready to put the drive ring assembly back. And the drive ring assembly's back on. We'll put this tension spring back on. We've got to make this last belt connection here to this pulley, and then put the bolt on the shaft on the end. And this is the hardest part, getting this belt and everything lined up. And everything is now back assembled, and this drive ring is sitting right on the edge. And the last thing I did is made adjustments to the spring clutch. It had been tightened all the way for the old belt, and now this new belt, I had to loosen this back up. And this engages the belt. So everything is now assembled. I'll put the side chute back on, and we'll give the self-propelled a try with the new belts and drive ring. So this will be our first test here on the Snapper Big 6 Ninja. After replacing the self-propelled drive ring, the transmission belt, and the main drive belt. So let's give it a start and try this out. And we also readjusted this clutch spring after putting the new belt in there. And this is the self-propelled lever. This should move very freely without being very tight, or to stretch the cable. So let's see how well this will start, and anxious to see if this has corrected our self-propelled. Give it a little bit of throttle here. And here we go. Warm up a little bit. Sounds quiet. Looks good. Start with low. That's good. Works great. Looks like we got the self-propelled fixed on this Snapper Big 6.